Deal out of this. This is Thursday, November 7th. This is actually for both regular and advanced because we're doing the same thing because you're all a bunch of idioms. Idioms is right. So we're going to learn about the idioms and try and help you out from there. There is a handout which we're getting today in class, which looks like this and has this on the back side. It's on my website if you want to have your own copy. Today is going to involve you writing on this piece of paper. So if not, you're writing on like a separate piece of paper and then copy it over. It'll make your life much easier. There's a quiz tomorrow, which is Socrative. If you want to do well on it, take a look at the homework, because that's definitely going to help you out on that one. There is a poem you have to read for the quiz, so make sure you do that also. And then there is a canned food drive. Starting next week. Bring in stuff, donate them, and it gives you a chance to get points up to a maximum of 15. And let's record the embarrassment of two children. The embarrassment of two children. The embarrassment of... Remember the embarrassment of one teacher. I'm not going to start over. We're going to leave my embarrassment on there. Hey, look, it worked this time. So now we get to go to the embarrassment of a child. Kemp, are you volunteering?
Well, actually I would, but I don't know if everybody's gone yet.
They have not. We still have like 8 more kids to go.
What?
So we can't yet. And so, same reason I can't call on that kid or the other kids who are raising their hands to try and lose point. But Akila can go. Akila, hang on. We have to get our next volunteer in case there's another one we get to pick on. And Rothschild can go.
Should she go first? No.
She could, but she's not. Alright. Happy, you've already gone.
Mr. Brovicast,
So you said the embarrassment of 2 children, but people don't actually get embarrassed.
Yeah. Did you see it when I did it? God. It was awful.
You're an embarrassment though, so like,
Jesus.
you're already an embarrassment. Don't worry, it's fine.
See, you're not the only one who gets to lose points. It's a team effort. Wow, one kid's already lost 9 points. Yeah. Ready? Me too.
For the simile, like or as, you shall see, but with the metaphor, use them no more. The comparing of 2 is what you'll do.
Your whisper game is on point. And you have broken 50.
For the simile, like or as, you shall see, but with the metaphor, use them no more. The comparing of 2 is what you will do.
Way to whisper that right into Akila's head. All right. And you have not broken 50.
You have not broken.
But you have broken 40, which is something. Ahoy.
Will I have to do this eventually?
Yeah. You just don't know what day it's going to be, so you can't start skipping school yet, because it'll probably be like the day you come back. So you can just practice it or just embrace your inner Spencer embarrassment on some level. You just have to get there. So now, we're going to start filling in a piece of paper here. We're going to go to the top cornery thing there to try and make life easier on you. We're going to start talking about idioms. Idioms are not idiots. Idiots are those kids in class that drive you nuts and make you want to throat punch them. An idiom is going to be this. It is a phrase that has 2 definitions, figurative and literal. You guys use idioms all the time. It's whenever you say a thing where it can be taken 2 different ways. Like when I say, if you're not writing this down, I'm charging you points. Oh, wait, that's not an idiom. That's me telling you right now, this is why you're writing it down. Kids are just staring at it drooling. When I say, ooh, do you want to spill the tea? That's an idiom. Because if you've never heard that phrase before, you get real confused about why someone brought in some brisk, and they're like, hey, and like they're pouring it out for their homies, as opposed to all of a sudden like spreading rumors and stuff like that. So spilling the tea has 2 different definitions. The one you know it to have, and then the other definition. Our 2 definitions, figurative and literal. The figurative definition of an idiom is the one we know it to mean. This is the common definition. So when you say spill some tea, you're not thinking that someone needs a mop. You know that we're going to be talking about people and spreading rumors that no one else knows and finishing your whole conversation with at the end of it. Is my large bulbous head in the way?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Okay.
And then we're going to get to literal definition. And the literal definition is where you're going to end up taking it word for word, exactly as it sounds. Oftentimes, this becomes the funny definition, where all of a sudden you're like, what? Why would you dump liquid on the ground and stomp on it? And that becomes the spilling of the tea. You'll know usually if which one is which, because one definition is going to make you giggle, and the other one's going to make you go, uh-huh. The one that makes you giggle is probably going to be the literal definition. You know, you're welcome to come closer if you want to see.
I'm okay.
I'm just trying to help. You're okay, then I'm okay. Then we're going to go through 3 examples before we try to make you learn all on your own. So here's to help you out the example-y bits. This is going to disappear. When it disappears, you're okay, because it's going to reappear in a moment. Plus, there's a chance it's in your noggin, and we're going to find out. So our first one, raining cats and dogs, is an example of an idiom. During cross-country season, sometimes we'd have to cancel practice. I'm like, hey, no practice today. It's raining cats and dogs outside, and I don't want any of y'all to die. If you didn't know what that meant, it'd get real creepy and real confusing. And you're like, no amount of umbrella is going to save me. So you have to realize what it means. Step number 1, Robison. We have 2 definitions of an idiom. What are our 2 definitions of an idiom? One starts with an F.
Figurative.
One starts with an L.
Literally.
Nicely done. So we have figurative and literal. Then Shalini. What does figurative mean? What does the definition figurative mean?
The common definition is what we know the phrase to mean.
Nicely done. Common definition, what we know the phrase to mean. And yeah, the idea is to make you write this down multiple times. It's going to beat it into your brain. And that's what scientists call learning. Because eventually you're not going to have to look at your paper if you end up writing it down like a total of 4 times. Trying to make you a smarter person. Those of you who have heard this phrase before, if someone says it's raining cats and dogs, you should hopefully have some idea of what that means. So here's the problem. I'm not going to let you globetrotter this. I'm going to make you big brain this. So whenever we do the figurative or the literal, I'm not going to let you use any of the verbs or any of the nouns from your idiom. You're going to have to come up with synonyms and be creative. So when you tell me raining cats and dogs, you can't use those words in that one to explain to me the figurative meaning. Let's find out. Kemp?
There's water coming from the sky.
Not bad. Usually a lot of water, but yeah. Large drops of water are falling from the sky. So that would be the idea of raining cats and dogs. Not a slight sprinkle bit, but like giant water drops are coming down from the sky to knock you out. Casper?
It's heavily pouring outside.
Yep, that would work. Not using any of the same words. All right. Humphrey, now we get to go to literal meaning. And what does the definition literal mean? Don't you try and steal Humphrey's answer.
The word-for-word definition
Good.
of the phrase.
Nicely done, Pumps. The word-for-word definition of the phrase, the funny definition. Now, when you do this one, again, you cannot use the words actually in this. I mean, you can use stuff like it, is, the, those are fine. I mean, like the big, like money words. All right, Towels.
Like animals are coming from the sky.
Good. I'm going to push you to be a bit more specific. What kind of animals?
Felines and canines and.
That's freaky. Because that's what I wrote down too. Felines and canines are dropping from the air. You could also do like big kittens and giant puppies, because technically a dog is a giant puppy and a cat is a large kitten, are also falling from the sky. You can do that. That's fine because you're not using the word cat and dog. Kitten and cat are 2 different words. Just don't be #3rd and try to convince me that rain and raining are 2 different words. They're like, I can use rain. I'm like, no, you can't. 2 different words. I'm like, it's the same word. Nope, it's got an ing. I'm like, that's a suffix. And so once again, their globetrotting was showing way too much. All right, let's try another one. This test is a piece of cake. In theory, speaking about the stuff coming up tomorrow. Noops, step 1. What are our 2 definitions of an idiom?
Figurative and literal.
Nicely done. So we have figurative and literal as our 2 definitions. Bulky, what does figurative mean?
The common definition.
Nicely done. Common definition, what we know the phrase to mean. So now, hopefully he's talking about our, that's tomorrow's quiz, but still the same idea. What is our figurative definition of this test is a piece of cake? Happy?
I have some questions.
We have to wait, Happy. We're going to have to get there. Andre?
This assessment is
It is.
slice of pastry.
Good. This time with confidence and less asking of me.
This assessment is a slice of pastry.
Not bad. Except that would be the literal one.
I thought we were.
Let's try it again.
This assessment is easy.
Good job. Much better. This assessment is extremely easy. Other than that, you nailed it. So apparently that idiom was not a piece of cake. Hoppy,
Do we have to write the whole thing over and over again because it's wasting too much time?
I don't think it's wasting time at all. We might have different definitions.
I
You
think
don't
you're
have to write
wasting
it.
time.
But how about this? Every time I ask you and you can't do it off the top of your head, I get to charge you points. If you have it written down, I don't charge you points. All right, game on. I like how you play. Then going to literal meaning. On that one, Hall. What does literal... Good morning, Hall. What does literal mean? Way to use your notes, Hall. Nicely done. Taunting has begun. The word-for-word definition of the phrase, the funny definition. Now this is the one where you get to bring in your slice of pastry kind of thing. Riley?
This big boy quiz is a slice of pastry.
I like it. I just did quiz, but I like Big Boy quiz a little better. All I did is a tasty frosted dessert. I don't work Big Boy into my stuff often enough. I'm sure that's a me issue. Then I tried to come up with one that I thought there was a chance some of you might not know. And I went for barking up the wrong tree. Idioms, by definition, have to be a phrase that other people have heard of. You can't just make up one on your own. They're ones that it's like a common phrase that people start to use and they get picked up, like spilling the tea. The first time it happened, people were like, what are you talking about? And then other people start to use it, and then it becomes a common phrase. But like, you can't just try to create your own idiom and be like, you're a tangle of twisted toes. Like, what are you like? It's an idiom. It's not an idiom. That's just you being strange. But idioms have been around for a long time, and there's some really weird idioms out there. And so this is one. You are barking up the wrong tree. Let's say I walk into my classroom and I find out like someone has like thrown popcorn all around behind my desk. And I'm like, Spencer, why did you throw popcorn behind my desk? He's like, what? You're barking up the wrong tree, Mr. Broviak. I would never do that. That would be an example of him using the idiom. If you've never heard that idiom, you're like, Spencer, I think you're crazy and hit your head. There's no trees in here. And so you have to know what the idiom means. So baby stepping into it from there. Ahoy, our two definitions of an idiom are going to be,
What we know first.
one starts with an F, one starts with an L.
Oh, yeah. Figurative meaning and literal meaning.
Nicely done. That works for me on that one. Happy, turn your paper face down. What does figurative mean?
What we know, the common thing.
You got lucky. Well done, Happy. What we know, the common meaning. So, if you guys have heard this before, what does barking up the wrong tree mean? Did he?
You like chose the wrong person or whatever?
Yeah. Usually it's like an accusing way that you are attacking or accusing the wrong person of something. Like if you're going after a criminal and they're like, whoa man, I have an alibi. You're barking up the wrong tree. And the officer's like, woo, 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 woo. I just want to make a barking sound. Then, Stein, what is our definition of literal mean?
The word-for-word definition of the fun.
I'm sure Happy could have told us that too. The word-for-word definition of one. And so here, once again, cannot use the barking or tree. I mean, you could use up. That's a preposition. So I'm like, fine with that one if you have like struggling bits on that one. So it's, I've already called on you. I have to spread it around, Andre, and pick on more people. Though I appreciate your love of things. Stein, I've not picked on you for that one yet. Yes?
You are a dog and making noise at long plant.
Not bad. Close what I put. I was like, you are woofing up the I put something incorrect tall bush. That giggling sound means it was the literal definition. That sound is a child mocking me sarcastically. Yes.
Could you use the dog is yelling at the big broccoli?
Absolutely. I'd be fine with that. Sounds creative, like you used your brain. Bulky. What's the what? An alibi is where you have, where you were. So if I accuse you of, throwing popcorn behind my desk before class, you're like, I wasn't even in the room. I was tardy in the hallway. My alibi is the fact that I wasn't even here. And so an alibi is you can have an excuse where you weren't at a place. Now the next ones, you don't have to write down. You are now done with notes and writing all of your things down, or for one of you, not writing things down. And so now we're going to see, just in general, how your brain works. I tried to come up with one that I think most likely none of you know. This is from way back in the olden days. And it says when you call someone a silver-tongued devil. That's an actual idiom from way back in the day. If you've heard of it, go, you old person. If you haven't heard of it, we're going to help educate you. But first step, as we get into it, Malia, what are our 2 definitions of an idiom?
Figurative meaning and literal.
So nicely done. If you've never heard this before, which one, figurative or literal, can you figure out automatically?
Literal.
Yeah, because if I all of a sudden, ooh, Nooper, you should hear her. She's a silver-tongued devil if you're not careful. And you're like, huh? And you're going to have that meaning you can figure out the literal. Because what does literal definition mean?
Sounds like it.
The word for word funny definition. So if I'm calling Nooper a silver-tongued devil, what is going to be my literal definition of what I'm accusing poor Nooper of being and or doing? Being. Words are hard.
Made of silver.
Tig?
She's a hell angel with a chromatic tongue.
Perfect, except for one small part.
Dang it.
You use the word tongue. Everything else about that was as pretty as me. Don't know why that made you laugh. So you can't use tongue. Everything else was good. Casper?
Oh wait, no. Spooky horn guy that has slimy, colorful thing in his mouth.
Frightening, but not bad. I just went for, he is a demon with a mouth muscle that was very shiny. Then, what does figurative mean? Just the definition of figurative. There you go. So if I'm calling Noops a silver-tongued devil, those of you who know what it means, Chris?
He's very good at persuading people.
Yeah. Usually through lies and poor choices. But they're a smooth talker and very convincing.
Wow.
Like when you're trying to do homework, no, come play Xbox with me. I've got a lab to get done. You can do it tomorrow morning on the bus. I need someone to be on my squad. And they start doing that little sweet talk. That's the silver-tongued devil. Happy?
That idiom is that picture right there.
That works for me. Feels like you're making fun of me, but I'm okay with that one. So now, working as a class, we have Cat got your tongue. What are our 2 definitions? What does figurative mean? If someone says cat has your tongue, what does that mean? Nicely done. Can't talk, having trouble with words. Literal definition means? Literal definition. Now I can take a volunteer for that part. The other ones we can sort of all do together, building up to it. Then that one we get the voluntary bits. Amblin?
A feline has the thing inside your mouth.
I went for mouth motion. That works for me. Carly?
I have a question.
Yes, that's why you raised your hand.
Did you change ties for the class?
No. Same tie I've had on. I'm not that magical. But I appreciate you giving me the ability to just and then change. That's not the way it works. And then oftentimes, cartoonists will draw idioms to try and make people laugh. But when they draw it, are they going to draw the figurative or the literal?
Literal.
And so oftentimes they're going to draw the literal, and you see me get all giggly. So I've got a couple of these I get to show you.
Oh no.
So we have, hold your horses. 2 definitions are,
The literal.
figurative means,
The common.
and hold your horses means,
Word
literal definition means,
for word. Definition of funny definition.
and then the literal meaning of hold your horses is going to be,
Picking up your fast cows.
not sure how they're a fast cow, but alright. I went for grab onto your large donkey creature. You should have Yes, head your donkey before they get away. So here is our drawing for that one. It says, whoa, boys, maybe we need to rethink this. And so he is holding his horses before they try and get into a fight with the Jumbo Twins.
I found my money on the horse.
Goes into your whole drawing.
I got $20 from the fat cow.
I found another one. Holds your horses. Probably not quite as entertaining. But I found this artist, Karen, did several idioms. So I ended up stealing it. I'm going to show you a cartoon and see if you can figure out which idiom it is. This one I figured is pretty easy.
Karen.
Says it right
Karen.
there.
He wants a man.
Broken heart. Nice done. Broken heart or heartbroken is an example of an idiom because your heart does not have pieces of it fall off.
Unless your guy breaks down.
Rock, paper,
Scissors.
No.
What? Excuse me?
Paper
Paper cut.
That's what I meant.
Paper.
I was thinking of paper, but I
Now, this next one is a little bit tougher.
Why is
It's
there paper?
whenever you get a group of musicians together, they form a band. Whenever they start playing music, there's a term for that. And it's called jamming or a jam session. So you have to know what a jam session or jamming is. Oh, not that. Sorry, it's the next one. Not this. This one is crying over spilled milk is when someone makes a lot of drama about a small thing. That's cry over spilled milk. Here's this one. Paper jam. Like when you have a printer or a copier and it's a paper jam. There's your paper jam.
Get the manager.
Selfie stick.
Selfie stick.
Karen.
Rocking chair.
Rock and roll.
Rocking chair. So you have rocking chair.
I'm choosing chair.
Play with fire. Fireball.
Playing with fire.
Play with fire.
I'm just. Oh, that's cute.
I like her song.
Donut gang.
On this one, they're not donuts. Those are supposed to be Cheerios. Serial killer. Serial killer. Now, to get this one,
What am I looking at?
if he is saying daddy, then what does that make him to the gun? Son of a gun. That was a bit more big brain on you.
He's the daddy of a bullet.
So now, take a look at this paper, not that side,
We're gonna have to do one.
this side. You are correct.
I don't want to do that.
So, you're not quite going as big-brained as that. What you're going to do is you are going to take an idiom that we've not done already. It cannot be one that we've covered in class. And on here, write down your idiom, and then you're going to write down the figurative meaning, and then write down the literal meaning, and you're going to draw a picture of figurative meaning, and then draw a picture of literal meaning. There are directions, which some of you struggle with. It's going to say things like all of your writing has to be in pen, make sure you use complete sentences, fill the box with your picture. If you're not good at drawing, that's fine. You can use stick figures. I'm going off of you filling the box and then making sure your stick figures are not naked. As an example, don't let the cat out of the bag. Figurative meaning of that is?
Shut your mouth.
Don't tell a secret. Now, be careful, because I had a kid go, don't spill the beans. I'm like, good, but that's an idiom. So don't define your idiom with another idiom. And the other kid was like, well, zip your lips. And I'm like, that's another idiom. And so don't define your idiom with an idiom. So don't let the cat out of the bag would be don't tell the secret. The literal would be?
Beans.
You can't use the word cat. And
Don't let the feline out of the backpack.
There you go. Don't let the feline escape from the sack. So again, you're going to have to draw your figurative, draw your literal, making sure that you color it in and stuff like that. Once again, there's directions right there in front of you.
Stop using all of them.
I'm in a pickle. Oh, the ones I've used, I apologize, it does limit you now to only the next 10,000 that exist. If you have trouble coming up with an idiom, you can either A, Google idioms, B, go to my website where there is a list of idioms, or D, listen to people talk for 4 seconds and they'll use 12 idioms in that speech. You guys use idioms non-stop. It's any time that people use a phrase where there's 2 definitions to it. I'm in a pickle, you have the I'm in trouble, so something along these. Oh, there we go. There's lists of idioms to help you. If you want to write down due date, it is due Monday. So not tomorrow quiz, not Tuesday. Tuesday we already have homework, so we're going to go with due Monday. So this homework, due Monday. Directions in top left-hand corner. If you're not sure if a thing is an idiom, ask me. You can either ask me now, or you can send me a message, or you can look it up. Casper.
Can I have an extra paper? Because Caleb told me to get all the ones.
Caleb, who?
Hernandez.
Oh, that's fine. Just come see me. Poppy?
Can I do 2? If I'm one.
Probably, as long as you follow directions. No other questions as far as our idioms go? Then, yay on that one.
Perfect.
Good luck with learning.